Finally, Battlefield is back. DICE has just dropped the reveal trailer for Battlefield 2042. And that's not all that dropped. In true DICE fashion, this trailer dropped my jaw multiple times. This opening scene's giving me some real Domovan Peak vibes. It's probably one of my most iconic moments I think of when I remember Battlefield 3. I've got it playing here in the background, but do yourself a favor and go play it at max quality if you haven't watched it yet. The link is in the description. It is no secret, Battlefield is one of my favorite franchises. Battlefield 4 holds a very special place in my heart. It was during a time that the stars aligned in a way that many of my friends' lives allowed us all to get together, squad up, roll just about any server we joined, or have fun trying. While I enjoyed Battlefield 1 and 5 for what they were, I was always left wanting for a return to the modern or near future setting. Helicopters and jets were my favorite vehicles in Battlefield 3 and 4, and seeing them in action in this trailer has really got me excited. While not direct gameplay footage, you can already get a sense for the scale at which this entry in the Battlefield franchise is going for. DICE has been saying for a while now that this will be the biggest Battlefield to date, and they're starting to back that claim up. For PC and next-gen consoles, it is confirmed we are getting 128 player rounds, 64 v 64 action. As a fan of absolute chaos, I am so pumped for this. Give me those dog tags. Great throwback to Battlefield 3 and 4. For a little while it was uncertain if this would be coming to the previous gen Xbox One and PS4, but that was confirmed during an investor call a few weeks back. DICE has also confirmed that there will be concessions made for the previous gen titles. They'll be locked at the classic 64 player count, with maps modified to match this. While this is good in that it will allow more people to enjoy 2042, especially in the current climate where it's still a huge challenge to get a new console, between the issue of supply and demand versus scalpers, I do have a bit of concern based on previous experience that the core game could be affected by this. This is the vibe I'm needing. Helicopters dueling it out in an urban landscape, dodging and weaving between buildings, using the environment as cover. Dawnbreaker in Battlefield 4 was a personal favorite for this for me. Split-second decisions being made between trying to break lock by dodging behind a skyscraper, or needing to pop your countermeasures, finish up the choppy v choppy fights and moving on to clearing rooftop recons with the little bird cannons. All great stuff. What's a quad bike doing on top of this building anyway? That's just another one of those only in Battlefield moments. This part of the trailer could have only been made better by attaching explosives to the quad bike, but there's plenty of room for those kind of shenanigans in the gameplay. Some absolute high-octane jet action here. I'm really hoping for some very refined flight mechanics in 2042. Things have always been a bit too simple in previous Battlefield entries. Slide the scale a touch more from arcade to sim, not too far, and I'll be happy. And can you believe it? Can you believe it? Rinda Zook in the trailer. Goosebumps, DICE. You know just how to get me. On a side note, really hoping to see the return of the hover mechanics for the F-35. Always loved playing around with that in Battlefield 4. It was a thing most people didn't even know you could do. I never had any effective success with it, but damn if it wasn't fun to hover orbit a point in the jet and just see people looking up like, what the fuck is that guy doing? Of course, usually the small would hit a few seconds later, but the fun was still had. Levolution is back, and one new mechanic I've been dying for since the introduction of the Storm on Paracel Storm, Extreme Weather. I can't believe it. I am floored, honestly. This was a dream wishlist item for me that I've always wanted to see in upcoming Battlefield titles anytime they start being revealed. Seems like one of the overarching themes for 2042 is the destabilization of Earth's climate, and we're getting the effects of that finally. During Battlefield 5's life cycle, we saw some hints as to the Solus program, a weather control system that was being worked on by the Axis powers. This never really came to much as Firestorm kinda fizzled out, but I think we'll see more of that story go along with the life cycle of 2042. Tornadoes and sandstorms have been confirmed, but I wonder what else we'll see in the future. Imagine a mountainside map with a chance of a volcanic eruption, causing lava flows to permanently alter the map. This is the kind of stuff I dreamed of when we first got Levolution in Battlefield 4, and if we end up with that kind of experience-altering gameplay, I will be beyond ecstatic. Now the real question is, will the Tuk Tuk car be the new skid loader? If so, I can't wait to get some meme roadkills with it. As far as extra details, a few days ago Battlefield Insiders were treated to a private live stream with all kind of details you've probably heard by now. I guess my invite got lost in the mail somewhere. Maybe next time. From what I've watched so far, to boil down some of the fundamental changes, we've got the bumped up player count as mentioned before, some absolute massive maps to go along with it, one of which was quoted as being 6 square kilometers. Another big reveal is the inclusion of bots as an option to play with. DICE has been experimenting with bots since at least Battlefield 4, and it sounds like a good way to test things out, dick around, or fill servers in regions with lower player counts. Sounds like the traditional class system Battlefield has used since its inception is going out the window. Now we have specialists, which sound very similar to operators from Rainbow Six Siege to me. Each specialist has their own exclusive gadget and are capable of using any primary weapon, as well as choosing from a pool of secondary gadgets. Some examples of specialist gadgets include a healing dart firing pistol, the wingsuit featured often in the trailer, and a recon drone. There are 10 specialists planned for launch, with more coming in the live service style system. You can also customize your gun attachments in the field, so swapping out scopes, grips, etc. on the fly. Sounds great for advanced players that like to adapt to an ever-changing combat situation. Grappling hooks and zip lines are back too. Those were some of my favorite additions from Hardline, so it's great to see them make a comeback. Vehicles are now called in by players and will drop live in the match. No details on what that will require, but I'm guessing you have to earn them in some kind of way, and they'll drop similar to the vehicle call-ins from Firestorm. Also, something I've really been hoping for a long time, no single-player campaign this time around. I like a good campaign experience, but Battlefield's never really needed it. And I'm glad all the resources are being poured into the multiplayer this time around. With probably 3,000 plus hours in Battlefield over the past couple titles, maybe 5 of those hours have been spent in single player, mainly just because there were unlocks tied behind it. Similar to Battlefield 5, all live service content is planned to keep players together, so maps are free, fancy cosmetics may cost you some money. There's a few different versions of the game as always, a standard, gold, and ultimate edition. Details are on the screen now. Launch date is currently set as October 22nd, with early access edition tiers giving you a 1-week head start on the 15th over everyone else. Higher tiers include other sorts of fancy little cosmetics, including a skin that looks kind of like a Tusken Raider with some crazy goggles. As far as seeing actual gameplay, we won't have to wait long. The first gameplay trailer will be out this Sunday the 13th, so be on the lookout for that. With that, I'll wrap up here. When that gameplay video drops, I'm sure I'll have a follow-up vid out, so if you're new here, consider subscribing and signing up for notifications. I really appreciate your support, and would love to grow the channel more. In the meantime, check out some of the older vids on the channel. I tend to upload ultra-wide format videos since that's what I primarily game in. Today's a bit of an exception because the main visual is being sourced from the trailer and some other assets. As always, thanks for watching.